What was my biggest fear and how did I overcome it? Well, I had a lot of fears growing up. When I was 6 years old, I watched Goosebumps. It's like a teen horror thing, actually a children's horror TV show, Night of the Living Dummy. You know, to this day, I'm still afraid of dummies, I think. They gave me the creeps. Or in elementary school, I remember I was just terrified of class picture day because I was a really shy kid, and for class pictures, you always line up from tallest to shortest. And I'm always the shortest in all my classes. And so I'm always afraid being the shy kid and people are picking on me or, you know, making fun of me because I'm the last in line or something. Or even when I was 12 years old, I didn't know how to swim until I was 12. And so up until then, I just never had a chance to learn. And I didn't want anyone to know that I couldn't swim because everyone around me seemed to know how to swim. So I always had to make up excuses or, you know, evade the question or just not participate when it came to swimming. And I was always afraid of that. And, you know, I had a lot of fears and everything seemed big at the time. Every fear was like the end of the world at the time. And I was the kind of person that was afraid of a lot of things, so it felt like the end of the world happened to me like multiple times in a year. And when I was younger, I didn't really know how to deal with these types of things, besides, you know, just dread it and, you know, push through it and regret everything I did in the past. That was my technique. But as I got older, my fears in comparison to my elementary school days have become a lot more serious. For example, I didn't get married till I was 28, which isn't a problem, but I thought I wanted to get married since I was 21. So for multiple years, I had this fear that I wouldn't find someone, or it wouldn't happen, or when would it happen? I'd get married when I was like 80 years old. And that brought a lot of fear into my life. But, you know, regardless of how serious the fear, because I still have small and big fears, there are, you know, maybe 3 things I could say in my mind that I keep in my mind when I'm approaching these fears. And the first and the biggest, I think, is no matter what happens, everything will be okay. I think I've been through so many roller coasters of feeling it's the end of the world and then getting through it and realizing it's not the end of the world, that when I encounter a fear now and I feel like it's the end of the world, I know it's not. And I know it may seem like it, but in the end, my life has always turned out, you know, great. And there have been hardships, but everything with time levels out. And so I'm usually blown out of proportion. So even if I always do feel still like this fear is the end of the world, I'll stop myself and I kind of have an assurance. And every time it gets bigger and bigger, this assurance that no matter what happens, everything will be okay. Now, the second thing is I know when I'm afraid or I have fear, it means I don't have enough information. That there's something I'm missing. There's some big thing I'm missing or some expectation that I have for myself that is causing all this fear. So when I'm really afraid about the future, I'll talk to someone older than me. Someone that had been through this end of the world cycle even more times than me. And I tell them my problem and they could tell me, you know, what to expect. They could give me a lot more information, and a lot of times that eases my fears because I know other people have been through it before, they've gone through it. I know, you know, it's not a big deal a lot of times. Like a lot of people get married when they're 28, a lot of people take a long time, but it happens. And so that gives me a lot of assurance when I talk to other people. Or when I just go look for the information myself, because it's only because I'm missing something. So that's one of the big things. And the third thing is kind of tied to that. Because I know I'm missing information, I know I have to do something differently. And so whenever I'm afraid of something, I try to take it one step at a time. And so for instance, if I was afraid of, you know, giving public presentations, I might try talking to more people one-on-one, or I might try giving the presentation just with myself. And it doesn't have to be big things. You don't have to get over fears instantly. But I think instead of being stuck in paralysis, if you just do one little thing, even if you think it's insignificant, but any one thing to take a step closer to overcoming that fear will give you more information, will let you know, it's not that big of a deal, and it will help you one day overcome that fear. And so there's a lot more other things I probably do, but yeah, I think those are the main things, It's always gonna be okay. It means I'm missing information, and so I need to take the time, one step at a time, to go find that information and to try something new to overcome it.